Okay, you're live.
Hey guys, thank you for joining on this live. How do you like me with those pink gloves, right? So cool. Like I said, thank you for joining this live. And what we're gonna do today, what's the point of this live? We're gonna talk about my favorite lightener, which is gonna be BLONDME 9 Plus by Schwarzkopf. So what I have here done, I have my lovely model Evelina here, and we did an air touch on her. So sides and a front are done, and I did that with a purpose to show you how the lift is on the sides where the hair is really fine and gentle, and how she's lifting on the last 2-3 sections. So I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to show you the lift. I'm going to talk a little bit about BLONDME lightener. I'm going to talk a little bit about BLONDME hair care, but also I want to show you this raw lift. And just to give you a heads up, she used to be super blonde. We decided to go a little bit more medium lighter blonde, not super blonde, so something that is creamy beige, some level 8 and 9. But also, before I'm doing the toner, I'm going to show you why I'm lifting my clients all nice and light and then tone them down, just because it's going to give me longevity and the hair is going to stay nice and clean, not muddy. Okay, so please feel free to ask the questions, everything that is related by the products. Even we can talk and touch a little bit about the technique. If you have any other questions, just please feel free to ask me. I'm going to answer all of them. Okay, so first, BLONDME 9 Plus is the strongest lightener in Schwarzkopf Professional family of lighteners. There's a variety of lighteners, but this one is the strongest. Okay, why do I like this one? I like it because I need nice and clean lift, but it's integrated with bond builder formula inside, so it's gonna keep my hair nice, soft, and shiny. And I'm gonna follow with the BLONDME hair care that to maintain those blondes inside. Okay, so Alina is behind the screen, and she's gonna read your comments and questions, so feel free to ask. Okay, Alina, do we have any?
No.
You don't have any?
No.
Okay. So this lightener sitting on this nice and fine hair more than an hour. Okay, I'm using those Framer gloves, the bleach blenders. They're amazing. So why I'm using them? Because I don't want to rinse this right now. I'm going to just wipe down and dry it, because when you dry the lightener, it's going to stop working. But at the same time, I'm melting and blending those previously bleached pieces to make them a little bit fresh. Okay, so can you see this this lift here? It's nice and blonde, but the hair is absolutely healthy. Okay, we're gonna go keeping all the way down through the pieces, dry them out, and I want to show you this nice and clean lift. Yanni, can you bring me something that it's black, just to show them the contrast in between something that is dark and light? Can you see this better, guys, right now? Can you see this lift? Okay, so this is with 7 volume in ratio 1:2. I dilute that a little bit. Sometimes I'm gonna go with 1:3, but I'm using nice low developer. Why is that important? Just think about that. When you have something that is strong and powerful, and you're using strong and high lift developer, what it's gonna do? It's gonna speed up too much. And the main question that I got over BLONDME is, why it swells so much? It swells because it's strong. You're using a higher developer. You're gonna close that in a foil set, that closed environment, and it's gonna get that chemical reaction you wanna get out because it's strong. Why I didn't got any of those? And this sits like for an hour, because I mix my ratio perfectly that it's gonna fit for my hair for a time of developing and for the desired result. I always looking for the best, the perfect lift that I can get. Why? Because think about this, how your toner is gonna fade. It's gonna fade on that what's underneath. If you don't lift enough your client's hair, it's gonna fade on yellow. So what I'm doing, I'm using my lightener to get the perfect lift. Then I'm gonna tone for the tone that I want to, desired tone, not to fix what is yellow. Does that make sense? So if you take a look on this again, Yanni can have the dark background. So if you take a look on this is palest yellow here, okay? So I can tone this with whatever I want. I can make this creamy beigey with straight violet on this because I have palest yellow. If I use violet, it's going to be creamy and beigey. If I use on this violet, gold, and ash, I mean blue, she's going to be super ashy because I got my base. That base, it's so nice and clean lifted that it's going to allow me to do whatever I want with that color, okay? So I'm going to keep doing that. On the top of everything, this here is really nice and fine, pre-bleached. I bleached this for a longer time, and look at on my gloves, there's one piece of hair. Everything else is nice and clean. Okay, so I don't have any hair loss, which is super important when you have a client with really nice and fine hair. You have to take care of it, that she's gonna stay with her hair. She's not gonna lose any.
I don't see any comments.
You don't see any comments?
No.
Comments should be on the left side there. It's hard to believe that you guys don't have any comments.
Okay. If I see the comments, I don't see what I'm recording.
Oh, okay. So how about that? Can you guys on support and behind the stage, can you read the comments that we can see what we're recording? If you can hear me, that would be helpful. Or just even pin them or somehow show them.
I do have a question pinned, but I can go ahead and read it off for you.
Yes, can you read out them? Because we cannot see the both things at the same time. Either we're going to see what we're recording or what the comments are.
Mm-hmm. So you have a question. What would you say are this year's hair color trends?
Say that again.
What would you say are this year's hair color trends?
What are this year's hair color trends?
Oh, hair color trend this year. For me, I'm a blonding specialist, and I think the hair color doesn't have any more like strict trends. Everything is all over the place. You're all based on social media. So right now we have the window through the world. If the thing is super popular in Russia, doesn't mean that it's going to be popular in United States. But definitely for me being in this industry over 23 years, I will say blonde colors and all the shades are always popular. And my clients, they're all coming back and they want to be blonder. I think definitely it's not that super white platinum color. It's not anymore that popular. People goes more in something that is more creamy, beigey, easier maintenance, not that popping up silver, unless that's a bleach touch up, if that's a bleach out and they want to be super platinum. I think that's the thing right now. Bronze are super popular right now. People love those colors and they are super hard to achieve and get. That's something that it's another thing to do bronze, because you have to lift the hair light enough but still leave that yellow orangey pigment inside that you're gonna be able to deposit whatever you deposited on that.
So we have another question, just wanting you to review what you're learning today, or what we're learning today.
What are we learning today?
Today we're going to learn how to achieve and why to use and how to choose that lightener that is going to give you a perfect base for a clean outcome, for a toner that is going to be your desired tone. So as you can see, I dried out the lightener close to the roots because this was partial. So I applied my lightener in the 4 inches off the roots. I didn't touch the ends because they're nice. This is the color that I want to maintain, that dirty blonde beigey color. So I bleached 1/4 of her length. I'm going to retone that later, but I just want to show you, even that lightener is super strong if you mix that properly. If you apply that properly, how you're going to get super nice, clean lift, because without that clean and nice base, you cannot tone nicely. But here it's going to still stay nice and healthy, because a lot of people asking me like, oh my God, it's too strong, it's going to dry out my hair. It could be, but it's all about how you're going to mix it, apply it, and how long you're going to let it sit. So this is with 7 volume. It's really low developer, and that's going to allow me to sit like even for an hour without over processing and damaging the hair. You can see that in foil here, and this piece here, it's not done yet because it sits for 45 minutes. So you can see that it's like getting there, but still not done, because this is the last foil that I applied on. So I'm gonna let this sit a little bit more, but also I'm gonna check the other side, which was the side that I applied a little bit earlier than that. And this is ready for wiping down. You can rinse this. I'm not rinsing because I wanna be sure that I'm gonna secure that transition from the freshly done highlights. I mean, I did an air touch, we're gonna call them highlights, that it's gonna be nice and blended through the length, that transition. So every question that you have regarding the lightener, regarding the toner, regarding the hair care, all about that BLONDME products, feel free to ask me.
There is a question. Going from a natural 3N, what technique would you use to go all over blonde?
All over blonde, over level 3, that's gonna be like definitely 2 or 3 sessions, and I will say using global bleaching if you wanna go all over blonde. Because if you wanna be all over blonde, technique as an air touch or teasing balayage or highlights, it's not gonna give you all over blonde. But level 3, to go to the level 8, 9 to make her blonde, it's hard and gotta be slow, and it's a long time process. My friend Lynn Fun or Maggie MH, so BC and Maggie MH, they doing a lot of those things on Asian hair, and trust me, that goes in process. They're using a lot of BLONDME lightener, and they're gonna use that one, let's say, first round of bleaching with 7 volume or 10 volume, let it sit, rinse it, condition it, using a BLONDME hair care to maintain that bond builder, and then re-bleach it again. And that's not easy, that's a special skill, but I will say that would be the technique for all over blonde, using a global bleach out. So you can see I'm wiping down and drying out this lightener all through the front piece because I got my desired lift. It's nice and blonde.
So we do have a question wondering what the advantage of using the gloves versus a brush or a board.
What is the advantage of using the gloves versus a brush and a board? I mean, yeah.
Brush on a board is for applying the lightener, and this is something because I got the question. I understand the question right now. Why would you use the gloves for a bleach blending instead of a new fresh lightener? Because what I need here. Okay, let me show you. That's a great question. Do you see where my lightener stops right now? And this one's sitting for so long. What do I need? This is nice and lifted. I don't need an extra lift. What I'm ensuring right now is just, can you see how I'm melting from the old bleach to the new one just to secure nice transition? Because what I don't like, when the toner fades, it's gonna leave you a line from the new and old lightener. So this is the reason. You see how I transferred this through the strand, and it's gonna just, I will say, it's gonna just prepare your hair a little bit better for a toner. See, this is the money piece. This is the lighter piece. So this is done. Her hair is fine and fragile, so I don't need a fresh lightener. So what I'm doing, I'm taking this one and just transferring and making blend from this that it's done to the length to refresh it, and I'm gonna let it sit for 10-ish minutes, and you see what's happening. So you see how this money piece is refreshed. Yeah, can I have that again? So can you see how this is refreshed right now? And it's nice and even. If I didn't do this, it would leave me a line of freshly bleached hair for something that is old. And this is so fragile and so fine that I cannot use any new lightener. Also, you can see here, I'm going to show you the sides, because sides are something that I done earlier. And Alina, are we going to go on this side?
Yes.
Okay. So you see this is already dry. So like it stopped working. When you dries out the lightener, it's going to stop working. So what my goal is here, I'm going to make her slightly darker around the back and the sides, but front is going to be lighter because I want to do that money piece and everything. Can you see this is sitting? Do you see how this is like nice and bright and blonde? This is going to be her front, and this is going to be something that I'm going to tone a little tone darker. So she's going to go from a little bit darker in the back with a light front. Also, I'm going to install the line 1 extensions on her, just on the sides to fill this. You see how this is nice, still nice but short. I'm going to fill with the extensions to get her a little bit more texture here on the sides, just on the sides. So what I'm doing here, I'm making this, ensuring this is going to be nice and bright and blonde. When I install the extensions, it's going to match perfectly. The same thing I did on the top. I'm going to let it sit just for 10-ish minutes more to blend better for everything. Same thing I did on the other side, because sides are way more fine and it's going to lift you way faster. So that's the reason of the gloves, that I'm going to wipe down the lightener, dry it out. When you dry out, the lightener is going to stop working. So I don't have to rinse this. I'm going to just do the two things in the same time. Dries out this one that it's done, and then drag down and refresh the edge. So like I said, this one, it's not done yet. Needs few minutes more. You see how it's yellowish? So I'm going to leave this one on. Yanni, can I have a piece of cotton?
So we do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wondering if you start foiling in the front or the back of the head, and then do you take off the foils starting from the back?
I start always on the back. That's my rule. First of all, I'm going to start on the back. When I'm done with the back, if I have to rinse it, it's easier to rinse it than on the front. Also, I like to be done with the back and then have full control on the front. Because it used to happen to me that I'm going to do the front, it's going to be done, and I'm not done with the back, and it's going to confuse me and give me anxiety because I have to wipe down, I have to rinse this, and also here is way finer and way better and faster processing on the front than on the back. That's the reason why I'm starting with the back all the time. This one is done, so I'm going to keep wiping down this lightener, and ensuring the transition on the old one. So this one moved. Do you see how I'm working with this? But can you see how the integrity of this here, it's still so nice and so fresh. So I'm not worried about that. That's about that BLONDME lightener that is going to give you full control, but also full power for the lift.
So we do have a question wondering how you determine what size sections you take for each foil.
How thick sections?
Yes, just the size of the sections.
My sections are always same. It's 1/4 of the inch. That's my section for the air touch. That it's a rule to be 1/4 of the inch section. If you have thick sections, you're not gonna have nice and clean lift, because think about that thick section, thick slice need more saturation. If you don't do a nice saturation, it's not gonna lift equally. If it not lifts equally, it's gonna leave your hair yellow and you're not gonna be able to tone it. Any more questions?
Yes, we had a question wondering how long would this service take in the salon, start to finish?
Air touch is a service in my salon. It starts with 5 hours total, 2 hours for application, 1 hour for processing, and 2 hours for finishing. But when I say 2 hours for application, I mean taking pictures, preparing the hair, because every air touch starts with clean and straight hair. So my clients know they should come in with a clean hair, but I still have to flat iron it and do the section. So that means in my case, application is going to take me everything about 1:15 to 1:45, depends on the texture for a placement. And those finishing of 2 hours is going to be for the toner, cut, style, and taking pictures. If I wouldn't do any of those things, it would take me around like 3.5, 4 hours for a whole application. Okay, so this is, I rinse this, I wipe down all of this, so it's dry. I can let it sit, and you can see how it's nice and blended even, but lighter around the face line. This one is the only one, the last one, that I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes longer, and then I'm gonna dry that one. And then after that, we're gonna rinse her rinse her totally. What I'm gonna do for her shampoo, turn around.
Yes.
Yes, Lena. So Yanni, can you bring me the BLONDME Detox? I'm gonna take off the glove anymore. So you see, I wipe down literally whole top and the back, and this is cotton, this is not a hair, and I don't have hair at all. That means her hair is nice and healthy. Okay, I'm gonna, even she came in with a clean hair. I'm gonna use BLONDME Detox Shampoo. Why detox shampoo? I want to detox everything that is old length, old color, buildup of minerals, buildup of, even some people are going to put a perfume on it here. So I'm going to take this out because I want to detox and create a clean canvas for my toner. In this case, I'm not going to use BLONDME toners. I'm going to use more vibrance because I want to go a little toned down. I want to mix few different toners to get that desired look. But what I'm talking about, that BLONDME Care goes along with the BLONDME Lightener, because those bond builders that are integrated inside, they coming along and they keeping your hair safe, but also with the hair care after that, it's going to maintain that bond and it's going to stay longer in the hair.
So we did have a question wanting you to explain how to create 7 volume.
Oh, you don't have to create a 7 volume with Schwarzkopf Lightener. Schwarzkopf color line, we do have already 7 volume as it is in a bottle. So we have 7 volume developer as an independent bottle. We have 7 volume in BLONDME, and then we have 20 volume, 30 and 40. 30 and 40, it's not recommended to use with a lightener. That's super fast. That's for a high lift color. Also in Schwarzkopf world, we do have clay lightener, which is also in the line of BLONDME. This is for a free paint. That's clay lightener that it's meant to be used with 30 and 40 volume. But also what I'm doing with this clay lightener, if she say, hey, I want to go again, nice and bright blonde, what would I do? I would take this lightener with 7 volume in diluting ratio 1:3 and paint her ends. Just to cleanse that level 8 and 9 toner, just to cleanse to that palest yellow, nice clean base that I can tone her with something that is more white. Also, if we're talking about that, we have Super Plus lightener, which is going to be not as strong, a little bit more gentle, but with 10 volume as well. So what I like to say with Schwarzkopf product, it's going to cover you from the beginning to the end with all products. Permanent, demi, half demi, with a TBH that is going to be less ammonia, with 4 different lighteners. It's going to be 5 different developers. It's everything. Also in more vibrance, which is going to be demi color. We have 3 different developers as well for that. It's going to be clear, it's going to be gel, and it's going to be 13 volume. So no base shift. It's also just for deposit the true tone. Do we have any more questions? Is this good enough answer for you guys?
Great explanation.
Thank you. Also, I would like to do something on my own just to show you, because I'm talking about that you shouldn't use high developer. You should go with a really low developer. How I see developer and how I see those 7 volume and 40 volume, I'm going to explain you in real nice little explanation. So I need my tail comb and piece of foil, please. Oh, by the way, guys, have you seen on Schwarzkopf USA Instagram page, huge giveaway about these foils? how amazing are they? Maggie MH, Schwarzkopf USA, and Framar, they collaborate and they create those amazing foils. Just if you can go, it's so fun. That is amazing. All right, we're gonna ruin this one. If you think about this is a strand of hair, this is piece of hair, okay? So how this works, yeah, go ahead, honey, hold it. How are you gonna make your hair light? So you have a piece of hair, and when you apply your lightener mixed with developer, it's not gonna make holes in your hair, but it's gonna lift the little layers and make them see through. It's gonna make them more translucent. So that means if you have 7 volume, which is something that is nice and slow, it's gonna make those little holes in the piece of hair like this, nice and slow with a lot of control, because power is in the can. Developer, it's only time. So you see how this developer taking time to make the little holes, and the more you're making those holes, you're gonna make hair light. So I can see Alina and a phone through this piece of hair. Let me show you that a little bit more so that you can see. Can you see this dark through those little holes? So that means that this piece of hair is see-through. It's translucent, so it's light, okay? The more you're doing that, the hair is gonna become lighter. When you take 30 or 40 volume with that developer, because 30 and 40 volume, it's high speed developing. So it's gonna do this, okay? So it's going fast and uncontrolled and creating this. So this is the way how you're gonna get broken hair with a high volume developer and a lightener. I hope this is great explanation. You're gonna remember this every time when you grab 30 and 40 volume, because, oh, I need 20 minutes for developing. That's not gonna work. 20 minutes, it's not safe. As you can see, this sits like for an hour on really fine hair, and I lift her to the palest yellow, and the hair is still nice and healthy. We are already in 30 minutes of live, so I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time more for doing this live. So if you have any more questions, feel free. And this is the thing, it's set like 10 minutes longer, and it's done. Think with the blue base lightener. When you think that it's done, let it sit 10 minutes more. That's the unwritten rule. When you think that it's done, let it sit 10 minutes more. It's not gonna harm you. It's gonna do better for you. Because I might rinse this a little bit faster. Nobody can see this one little strand, but I can see it. I know that it's there, and I'm not happy with that. So she's gonna be ready for rinsing. See how I did really nice covering in here? This is the air touch technique. On the back, I rinsed the back a little bit earlier, and the back is wet. But you can see nice lift here, and it's so nice and blended. And it's not my point to make her light on the back. I want to go and create that darker underneath and lighter on the front. So she's going to be all nice from the nice melted, blended darker with a light front and the ends. Can I answer any more of the questions?
I think you've pretty much answered most of the questions that have come up. Lots of people saying that was a good demonstration and that they like your foils. So.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So guys, one more time. I do not have Facebook. I am not on a Facebook as a social media, but I am on TikTok and Instagram. If you have any more questions, if you want to see more, if you want to know more about Schwarzkopf products, about air touch technique, about cutting, styling, my favorite products, please go and at Danilo.bozic on Instagram or TikTok. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. And I think that would be all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for great questions. And hope you're going to do a way better job behind the chair using Schwarzkopf USA products. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye-bye, guys.